No foot stop? Anyone? 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 Oh, yeah, one. 1 out of 2. This is our final chance coming up here. Well, I think we got everything. Riding the old school bike with choke and fuel valves, and it's almost like being a pilot. You need a checklist. On the road again. It's Friday. Let's see if we can get home. That might help if I put the right turn signal on. Literally the right and or correct turn signal, which in this case was the right one. Where you going there, mail truck? Prius gets to go first. My Hemi's faster than yours. You know how I know that? I just passed a minivan. The familiar sound of a Himalayan idling at a red light. You know you love it. Kind of bummed I don't have my helmet paired to my phone, so no music on the way home. Just me blabbing. The sewing machine's still running. Listen to that. What we can do up here, we'll give it the beans, and you can see, you know, just how scary full throttle acceleration is on this 400-pound, 24 horsepower beast. Of course, I'm kind of cheating. It'll be a roll-on, but let's go down to third. Get around this corner, roll on, and feel the power. I mean, you know, there's 70 miles an hour before I hit the road. Shift into fifth at 70 and pull away. Here we are. Almost 80. Boy. She's feeling a little frisky today after work. You can hear me with this wind. The Purple Panda microphone and adapter seems to work well with the GoPro, so I'm gonna assume that yes, you can hear me. Earlier this morning we were talking about pros and cons, kind of, you know, is this a good bike for a beginner? Is this a good bike for you? I noticed a lot of complaints about the fuel gauge on this bike, and yeah, it's off. It seems to bother a lot of people. Maybe the guys who've been riding, and girls who've been riding for a while, maybe it doesn't bother them so much, because we didn't even have gas gauges in the day. You know, we have what this guy's got, a fuel petcock. You filled it up, you reset your odometer, and you knew at a few miles on that odometer, within a mile or two of a certain reading, you would need to switch over to reserve on the petcock. And then you knew you had 3/4 of a gallon or gallon of gas remaining, so you know it was time to get gas. So fuel gauges are kind of whatever. I guess because we grew up without them. I don't know. But yes, the fuel gauge on this is way off, as is the outside air temperature gauge. You can relocate the outside air temperature gauge probe, but it doesn't help. It'll still be 5 or 6 degrees Fahrenheit off. When I swapped out the fuel tank, I bent the little arm on the sender unit for the fuel gauge. I bent it down about 1/2 inch. And now when I'm at half, when it indicates half a tank on the fuel gauge, it literally takes 2 gallons to fill it up. So it's much, much closer than it used to be. Still not accurate? No, not accurate. But closer. Does it matter? No. But closer. It's a great bike. It's a great bike to buy. If you're a new rider, it's a great bike to buy and learn all the things you need to know about motorcycling, as well as maintenance, because it is super simple to work on. I think I could teach anybody how to do anything on this motorcycle. From, you know, replacing clutch discs to adjusting the valves to changing spark plug and changing the oil and changing sprockets and changing wheel bearings. It's all super simple to work on. Even the race bearings in the steering head here, they're pretty darn simple. And not only that, what is lacking on the dealer side as far as dealer support in the US, YouTube has got your back. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of videos on how to do the various things, because you got to need to know how to do the things for your Himalayan to keep her in top working order. It's kind of a no-nonsense deal, right? It's just a common sense bike. It's basic. It's 1970s basic, and I'm not even joking. I mean, other than having a fuel gauge and a temperature sensor, well, and then a stock one would have fuel injection, if you want to call it that. Yeah, nothing else about this bike is, you know, from the 80s. It's from the 70s, and that's actually the appeal, right? It looks like you got a brand new 1970s bike. That was the appeal for me. That's what I wanted. I wanted old school. I endorse the bike for every kind of rider, as long as you know what you're buying. It's a great bike. It's an amazing off-road bike. It's funny that I watch all these back road discovery route videos, and everybody's on, you know, GS's and KTM's and, you know, bikes that you can't touch for less than $18,000. And I understand. I own one. Will I take it on a BDR? Probably not. I would rather take this. Put some Moscow Moto bags in the back and head out. But yeah, you see these guys on the BDRs with their high-dollar bikes doing all the stuff and having a good time. And then you watch another group of guys on little dirt bikes, little thumpers, you know, 300cc, 400cc, doing the same stuff, actually doing it better, and having just as much, if not more fun, and everything's fine. You know, it's about you and getting out and having an adventure on a motorcycle that you love, and this one's an easy one to love. It's a good companion. People are concerned about reliability. There are some minor reliability issues, but they've been addressed. I mean, like I said, YouTube's got your back. YouTube can help you keep your Himalayan happy, which will keep you happy. I wouldn't get crazy buying an extended warranty or anything for this bike. because you may have an issue with getting a dealership to work on it anyway. I mean, I do I sound like I'm down on dealers, but it's just I hear so many people struggling with their dealer that it's disheartening, you know? It could be so much better than that. Then again, I know, what if the dealers were great and had excellent service techs and could turn your bike around in 24 hours or 48 hours, or even while you wait for something like an ECU flash. You know, if they're charging too much, which they have to charge a certain amount, they got to make money. It's what they do. It's their job. I mean, none of us go to work for free. Well, some people do, but most people don't. And it's not their fault. They've got to charge enough to pay the bills. Mechanic's got to make enough to feed his kids. You know, that kind of thing. You know, you take your bike in and you get a full service done on it, and you're looking at, you know, $600-700 because the bike was in the mechanic bay, you know, most of the day, and you needed some parts. Well, that's just the way things are. But it's a lot harder to spend $600 or $700 on a motorcycle that only costs $5,000 to begin with, just for maintenance. So, you know, just be prepared for stuff like that if you can't work on your own bike. If you think riding or commuting on a motorcycle to work is cheaper, that's the wrong thought process. Riding and owning a motorcycle is not cheap. Yep, it may get 60 miles to the gallon, but it's not cheap to keep it happy if you can't do it yourself. A little hot here. I'm just gonna buzz along here. And yes, this is somewhat legal in California, so I'm not breaking any laws. Do you know why in California we're allowed to lane filter? Well, back in the day, all motorcycles were air cooled, a lot like this motorcycle. And if you got stuck in bumper to bumper traffic, it would overheat. And the next thing you know, you've got a dead motorcycle on the side of the road. So they allowed motorcyclists to filter between traffic just to keep the bikes cooler, and that's basically carried over to present day. I'm pretty sure California back in the 60s and 70s had gridlock on freeways before anyone else, so that's why it was allowed here, and it just was never made illegal. I just can't get over, you know, I know I'm repeating myself every time I ride this bike. I just can't get over how well it handles in the twisties like this. It's just so graceful and smooth and, you know, predictable, and I don't know. Love it. Absolutely love it. And if you're looking at one of these and I'm convincing you that this bike is for you, you're gonna love it too. And if, you know, you guys from Himalayan North America out there are watching my video, I'd really like a scram to ride for a couple weeks back and forth to work. I'm sure that can be arranged, right? Right? I promise not to take it apart and put tubeless tires on it and strip it down to weigh less and put a carburetor on it. All those good things. I'll leave it alone and just ride it and report my findings. I know the Scram and the 2023 Himalayans though are leaps and bounds better with the better fuel injection on them. I know that for a fact. I've ridden a Scram. First thing I noticed was how much smoother it ran. Same with the Meteor and the Bullet, the little 350. The fuel injection is so much better on those 350s. It feels like it has more power than this bike. I'm not even kidding. Those of you guys that have ridden one know what I'm talking about. Still filming. Hey, bounce house time. So back to the gas tank. Look at this, we're about on half a gallon, or half a tank. And I started off this morning with a full tank, and it's approximately 53 miles to work, so 106. So, you know, that's closer than it used to be. It used to be I would do a one round trip and it would almost be over here on like you got a little more than a quarter of a tank left. I'm like, come on, man. So, you know, and then it would sit there for, actually, you know, it sat there a little longer than the first half of the gas tank, but then it would go all the way down to the red, the first red tick there, not E-red, but the first red warning. And I would pull in to get gas and it would only hold 2 gallons, and I'm pretty sure this is close to a 4-gallon tank, but now it's closer. So if I pull in to get gas right now, I can guarantee it'll hold like 1.7 gallons, which is way closer than it used to be by bending the sending unit float wire down about ½ an inch. If you ever have yours out, just bend it down a little bit. Make sure you hang on to the wire on both ends. Don't put force against the actual sending unit. You'll break it. I don't know what that guy's plan was. That was weird. Oh, U-turn. That was the plan. He smelled marijuana too. Zero foot stop. Oh, almost nailed it. No foot down. I don't think I stopped all the way though. Got to do those, practice those no foot stops for Zach. You know, he's that's his thing. Got to say, this is probably the easiest bike I own to do a no foot stop. She's fat, but she wears her weight down low. We might have another couple opportunities for some no foot stop action. I think I have 2 more stop signs. If only we have the battery power to make it through the next 3 miles. Never have a problem with the Himalayan triggering those red light sensors. Wonder why. Could be all the steel used in the construction of the motorcycle. I think so. You gotta ride the bike and make it do what you want it to do. Don't let the bike ride you. No foot stop? Anyone? 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 Oh, yeah, 1 out of 2. This is our final chance coming up here. See if we can get stopped for a longer period of time. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Nice one. Did I get it on film? I did. Zach would be proud. If you don't know who Zach is, he works for Revzilla. They make some really funny and interesting videos for YouTube. You gotta go check it out. The last long video they made were camping on motorcycles, and they put a like a doghouse box on the back of a Goldwing. Oh, look, I forgot about these opportunities for no foot stops. Still recording. Can we get another one? I don't think I stopped all the way. Boo! One last try. Big brake, back brake only. Oh yeah, I stopped. That was definitely a full stop.